Here in conversation with the lovely Lucy Zilic, who you can hear, by the way, in and around summertime on 2GB. You can see her here as well. We love you, darling. And always just here to help, board member extraordinaire. Stephen Conroy, former Communications Minister, and he's in Melbourne, always there to help. So, Stephen, give me the 30-second defence around the Annika Wells stuff. Because, yeah, cool, okay, within the rules. So was Bronwyn. Why does the pub test only apply to the people the media don't like?
Well, I think that, and I appreciate particularly earlier when you had the other, a truck driver example, those other examples, which are all fair and valid. But the truth is, it wouldn't matter if you force politicians to have zero pay and have to ride a bike to Canberra. The general view in the public is anything at all that a politician receives for their job is not worth giving to them. I absolutely support the family reunion. Having lived a life for 20 years...
Oh, this is such nonsense. Oh, my God. Do you politicians and even former politicians have zero shame? I am just so disgusted by this, that the level of entitlement that's going on with respect to the family reunion entitlement in particular...
It's not a question of level of entitlement. It's a reasonable step to allow you to maintain some relationship with your family, particularly on weekends. If you are working on a weekend and you're working interstate and you've been away all week, then it is fair and reasonable within limits to be able to have your spouse, partner, children travel with you. That is not an outrageous
no, it is, Stephen. It actually is. No, it actually is outrageous, okay?
I'm just going to disagree.
I think you've made your point. You've supported the entitlement for reunion.
Yes.
Now let's start exploring what other entitlements across the country are our shift workers, nurses, cops, firefighters, our fly-in, fly-out mining employees receiving. What about our truck drivers? My father got up at 4:30 every morning, broke his back to work 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. What support was he given? What support is my husband given, who works in sport? Stephen and Annika Wells will appreciate this, right? Who works 6, sometimes 7 days a week, long hours, long nights, and works for 40 weeks of the year. What support are we giving to those Australians who aren't seeing their families, right? The nurse and police officer, husband and wife who work shift work and barely see their children. This is an absolute farce and a disgrace from our politicians to anticipate that their time with their families should be rewarded and receive entitlements over hardworking Australians who are watching all of this play out over the last week and feeling disgusted. It is repulsive, and that reunion entitlement should be scrapped. If you want to spend more time with your family, pay for it out of your own pocket or get another job. It's as simple as that. I'm tired of the boo-hooing that goes across both aisles of politics that suggests that your time with your family matters more than Australians who are confronting serious situations and barely seeing their kids who are being raised by childcare centres. Enough is enough. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, my thing too, Stephen, is, and of course you're correct, right? And I know somebody somewhere, the adage, which is, if you ask people what should politicians be paid, it's like they should be paying us. I get all of that, right? But I think that part of the granular stuff that annoys, right, apart from everything that Luce just said, of which I would largely agree with, is that people like Annika Wells, and Annika Wells specifically, is paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, in that it's not like, well, all of this stuff is generous because the pay is garbage. The pay's pretty damn good, and it's guaranteed for 3 years, something that even, a hard-working small business person couldn't guarantee that they would have for the next 3 years. To me, it's again, just one of these little kicks in the arse that collectively, those of us with a comfortable life, collectively may need to be reminded about, for those who do not have a comfortable life, what entitlement means.
Well, it is always simple to try and say politicians are overpaid, and you've just again made that point. Hundreds of thousands of dollars after tax.
I didn't say that.
Half that. Okay, so let's...
I'm aware of that system.
You said they paid hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But I'm aware of that system. But But I'm saying is that they've got all this extra stuff. But the extra stuff is not paid for by other people. It's paid for by the same people who pay them the hundreds of grand. That's my point.
Well, as I said, the family reunion system is designed. Now, Lucy will disagree and she'll say it's outrageous and not everyone can do this, therefore no one should be able to do this. And that's not something that I think is a reasonable position.
Why is your time with
Because,
your
I
family
repeat,
more
if you were
important than
asked people-
others in this country, though? Let's get to the crux of it. Why are you more entitled as politicians to spend time with your family and benefit from this scheme than other hardworking Australians? Why? Just answer that simple question.
Each job has a different, I'm talking about across the broad economy, each job has a different set of pressures and challenges. And in politics, time away from your family is one of the most significant. You've just got to look at the number of marriage breakdowns proportionally. It's one of the highest in occupations. And so these are things that are there to try and help and allow, perhaps less marriages to break down.
So limit it.
So now taxpayers have to take responsibility for your marriage as well. Give me a break. This is so foul.
There's no caps. That's part of the system too. There's no caps. There's no sort of rules. There's no difference between $100 at the cafe and $1,000 in a Paris restaurant. And then she had the balls, Stephen, during the federal election campaign to lambast and have a go at that Liberal policy, which they made up as, $20,000 lunches and cigar-smoking bosses. You and I both know that was for small business people like a hairdresser who might want to take out, one of her main customers to the pub for $100. She had the balls while she's racking the cash up. That's what gets me all fired up, which is like, okay, pick the lane here. Which is taking the piss and which is completely acceptable and loving way of keeping a family together.
Do you know what, Paulie? We have to make a distinction also that's very important to acknowledge here, because I know that the Prime Minister was very much on the PR trail of trying to justify all of this, saying, she works very hard, it was all within its means, and people might be shocked. I'm paraphrasing slightly, but people might be shocked to learn that she...
the cleaner who cleans her office doesn't have this.
But might be shocked to learn that she attends sporting events. No one is shocked to learn that she attends sporting events. We are all very aware of this. As the sports minister, she's required to be at these events. It's the circumstances surrounding said events. It's taking your husband along on the taxpayer's dime. It's going and spending at the Paris Olympic and Paralympic Games, spending $2,000 on dinner, and then turning around to say, as some form of justification, that it's because I work really hard. So is everybody else, but they're not going out and spending $2,000 at dinner. So it's just this level of ignorance and arrogance to just put your hands up and say it's wrong. It's not okay.
Give me the bumper sticker
here,
Stephen, because
just say it.
No, you can rant all you like, Lucy. But yes, it was. What you're again just making a simplistic argument, trying to pretend that Annika went out, trying to pretend that Annika went out and just notched it up in Paris by herself. There was a group of people.
No, we're not.
And
no, we're not. No one's suggesting that
she went out and spent $2,000 herself.
No one's saying that though, Stephen.
Okay.
No one is saying that.
So let's then have a more realistic discussion.
The fact that it was still spent. When you go to dinner tomorrow night, are you going to go to a restaurant where you're going to spend $2,000, or are you going to go to a more modest restaurant?
Or you pay your bit and you go Dutch with the five people standing around the table. God forbid.
Well, you don't know who the other people around the table were. They might have been staff. They might have been officials from the department. They might have been other. I know. I'm simply saying I don't know. Okay.
She confirmed it for us. She went on the record and said that it was the Australian ambassador. She said it was a department person and a staffer. Yeah.
All right. Finish this off here, Stephen, because I do want to move to something else.
So there were four of them. So that's what $500 each. Is that?
It's still more.
I'm asking you because I actually don't.
Just stop defending this. It's indefensible. My gosh, have you all no shame? Seriously, I respect you a lot, Stephen, but the fact that there are politicians defending this, it's gross. It's so foul.